The people that make the biggest difference in your life are the people that see something in you that you don't yet see in yourself. Hey, it's Anthony Iannarino of thesalesblog.com, right here, youtube.com/Iannarino, and author of The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need. We should put a picture of the book here sometime. And I wrote a newsletter this morning, went out to about 80,000 people about my young life starting a rock band. And when I was about 15 or 16, I started playing in bands, which at that time meant you went over to a drummer's house, always the drummer, because that's the only guy that was allowed to have loud music in his house because his parents already committed to buying him drums. And you'd get a guitar player to come over, always awful. The guitar player would know 3 or 4 songs, and you'd do your best to try to work through them, and no one could ever make it through a whole song. And you do that for a couple years as you're trying to learn how to play. And then later on, when I was about 17, I started a band for real with my brother and one of our friends. And then we went and got a guitar player and we started playing. And we were still awful, but a lot of people had us open up for them because we always made the band that followed us look good. That was going to be easy. We were passionate though, and we were playing. So I was 17 playing in a bar, and at one bar that we played, there was a band that was fronted by a guy named Tommy Janikis. And Tommy was everything that I wasn't. He was super confident. He could move on stage. He could interact with the crowd, and he belonged right where he was, and everybody knew it. You could see it on him. He had all of the women. Everybody loved Tommy. Everybody loved Tommy. And I got to be friends with Tommy, and he was the one person when we opened for his band who would treat us really well. He would always take care of us because he was just that kind of a guy. And he would always say, "I'm so jealous because you guys play originals." And I would always say, "I'm so jealous of you because you guys get to play cover songs." And he didn't know that at the time we were only playing originals because we couldn't play we couldn't play other people's songs. We weren't good enough. But anyway, one time we were talking and he told me he was taking voice lessons from a woman named Michelle Horsfield. And I thought, if that's how Tommy got to be this good, then I need to go see Michelle Horsfield. So I got her number and I went to see her and I started taking lessons. And 6 or 8 months went by and I didn't know that I made any progress at all. And I said to Michelle, "I just want to be as good as Tommy." And she said, "Tommy who?" And I said, "Tommy Janikis." And she said, "Honey, you're already a better singer than Tommy Janikis. He's got about a 1-octave range and you've got a 3-octave range. Do you know how rare that is?" I didn't even know what an octave was. So I said, "No, I don't." And she said, "Look, you can do all of these things. He's very limited in what he can do. As a singer, you have a bigger range and you're a better singer than he is." I'm shocked by this. I said, "Better than Tommy Janikis? He's the best." And she said, "Not as a singer. As a singer, you're actually better." And she said, "What I want you to do is just tighten up and let it out. Just let your voice go and you're going to be great." So Michelle saw something in me that I didn't see. I couldn't recognize it, but she saw it. And then from that point forward, I was able to finally let go of the mic stand. I was able to move on the stage. I was able to get confidence and know that it was my stage and I was the commander. But it took somebody seeing that in me for me to be able to do that. And I want to say something about Tommy Janikis, who passed away a few years ago. Tommy was still the very best. Even though I might have had a bigger octave range than he did, there was no better front man. And I'll argue that point with anybody who would say so. Tommy was absolutely the best and just a wonderful human being. But I'm sharing this story for an important reason. To make a difference in other people's lives, you have to see something in them that they can't see in themselves. And no one ever looks back and says, the best leader or the coach or the manager or the person that I work for that made the greatest difference in my life neglected me, accepted me as mediocre, and didn't see something in me that I didn't see for myself. The story is always the same for all of us. The people that make the difference in our lives and the people whose lives that we touch, it's always about us helping somebody activate that they already have inside them and to become that. That's what we do when we're at our very best. So if you're a leader, you need to look and see something in your people that they don't yet see in themselves. And if you're not a leader, if you're a parent, if you're a brother, if you're a sister, you need to look and say, how do I see more in these people that they see in themselves? And then how do I help them become the very best version? Because that's what we're here to do for each other. It's Sunday night, and I appreciate you being here with me. I'm Anthony Iannarino. Do hit the subscribe button so you can be here with me tomorrow. I'm going to put a banner in front of you. If you're not already signed up for the newsletter, this is the kind of content we talk about. Go to thesalesblog.com/newsletter so you can join me every Sunday, and I'll give you something to start your Monday off with a bang. I'm Anthony Iannarino, and this is Every Day.